What's going on, good people of the internet? It's time for OnComicsGrounds.com's flagship podcast, Panel to Panel, where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are back once again, talking about all that nerdy news and comic goodness that happens in the space that we live in these crazy times we live in, where soon the Cheeto will be gone from the White House, and the virus, while dangerous in its own right, is slowly being fixed. We are trying to get back to normalcy, but in the times we live in, big corporations have decided to keep on going and create some pretty cool announcements for us. So we are here this evening to talk about all the awesomeness that is going on with Disney and their big investor conference they had, talking about all their big stuff that's coming in 2021 and 2022. So we're going to get right into that. But before we do, I have to introduce my cast and myself. My name is James Portis. To my left, we have the man who is now once again independent and kicking ass doing it, Mr. Afro Baggins himself, Travis Tucker. How you doing?
Pretty fucking wonderful. I'm not right now, but one of these next episodes, I might.
Oh, you might just. Oh, you cut out there. Where you at?
Said I might just be in the nude, and you'll never fucking know.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Lord, mercy.
I mean, if you drink for episode 50, I wouldn't be surprised. And to my right, we have the woman who, like many of us, is excited for Christmas to come, not only for the presents, but for Wonder Woman 1984. We have Mary. How you doing this evening?
I'm very much looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984. I'm expecting the world to blow up between now and then. So, you know, this movie was due out in June.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, I mean, because I think at one point they pushed it up to 2019, and then they're and they pushed it back to 2020 to the original release spot that it had, and then it was supposed to be in June, and it's just just put it out already.
See, what kills me is the fact that we were the Funko Pops and the toys and everything else has already come out. The different brands with Frito-Lay and different cereals have already had their time in the sun. You see that Kroger and stuff like that. So the movie was supposed to come out next year. Then they were screw it, let's just put it out on Christmas. And it's exciting to see that we're finally starting to see a little bit of light go on with things being so dark as of late. So I'm excited to see what happens.
And I honestly think that's why they put Cheetah in her final form in the trailer, is because they knew that they just weren't going to be able to keep it under wraps. I don't think this was a BVS showing Doomsday, showing your hand too early kind of trailer. I think this was just, look, this was supposed to be out ages ago. Somebody's going to leak the goddamn picture. Just put it out already. Hell, somebody did leak the picture. I remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the picture leaked around CCXP, and then Warner Brothers did a takedown, and then I think they're just you know what, fuck it. Just get it out there.
Just do it already. So, Disney decided to just Travis, how did you put it before the show?
About to say, James, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Travis, how did you put it before the show? I'm not
Disney about dumped the laundry basket on all of us.
I'm gonna say, yeah, no, but there was everything is here. And the announcements just kind of kept coming over and over again. That's the one pun I'm gonna use. And we're gonna keep on moving. So Mary's disappointed in me because I made a really dumb joke before the show. But no, so we're gonna start from the smaller things, and we're gonna work our way up. So the one smaller announcement, at least for me, was the fact that in regards to Hulu coming in the next few years, there is talk that Disney is going to be integrating Hulu into Disney Plus. they didn't confirm this. This is speculation, but also because of the fact that they want to begin putting more adult content on Disney Plus, so they're thinking of putting Hulu into it. Hence why friggin' Reservoir Dogs is coming to Hulu and FX. You got Handmaid's Tale that was renewed for a 5th season. Friggin' Always Sunny in Philadelphia was renewed for 4 more seasons. Ridley Scott is working on an Alien TV series to go onto Hulu, and it very much feels like Disney's gearing up to just like merge the two, like and just be done with it. And
I'm not redoing my goddamn Hulu list, okay? Disney can do this.
I mean, someone made the comparison. Like earlier today, I was watching a YouTube video. Someone made the comparison that Hulu has become sort of like the redheaded stepchild of the like streaming services, where like you just kind of look at it and go, "What do you have? Bob's Burgers? Like, what do you do?" And I kind of see how Disney could just be like, "Screw it."
I mean, the big thing that Hulu had was The Handmaid's Tale. And, you know, as the show has gone on, like really any show, it declines in popularity the further it goes on. But The Handmaid's Tale, like, they couldn't stop throwing Emmys at that show. Like,
yeah,
deservedly so. But no, they couldn't stop throwing Emmys at it. But other than that, I can't think really of any like Hulu original property that's been able to stand up against, you know, something like
Letterkenny.
Oh, Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Letterkenny.
Was Letterkenny a Hulu original, or did it start somewhere else?
It started somewhere else, and then they bought it because they were like, "No, this shit's too good."
Okay.
What about like Canadian?
I'm saying I know like Superstore. Yes. I know like Superstore started as like a Hulu thing, then became an NBC thing, which I thought was so weird. So no, I mean, there's the issue of that.
Hulu kind of went back to its roots with having like network and basic cable shows on their service, because that's what Hulu used to be. Do you remember that, you know, you could pay to watch Hulu without ads, but if you watched Hulu with ads, it was just free? I might be dating myself here.
No, it's like only a couple of years ago. You're not dating yourself.
Yeah. In terms of internet progression.
Yeah.
But then I'm paying like $13 a month just to watch it without ads. Like, fuck you, Disney.
I mean, like, would you be opposed to them just saying screw it and just having like Disney adult over here in the corner?
I mean, if it consolidates the amount that I have to pay, I'm fine with it. But I'm just gonna bitch and moan about having to redo my Hulu list because, you know, I'm probably just like basic, I guess.
Travis, what do you think about it?
I'm pretty excited, but also at the same time, it's weird because, like, I don't know if you guys have seen the new Animaniacs. Like, Steven Spielberg is back on it. Animaniacs,
yeah. Amazing,
and he's pulling no fucking punches. So for me, it's.
Oh, Travis cut out again.
But on the same hand, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, but on the same hand, Hulu could use the extra traction that Disney could provide for it. Not to mention, they could adultify all of these fucking Marvel Studios shows and make them that much better. Because I know for a fact, I want to see someone get decapitated with the blade side of Falcon's wings, but I won't get that on Disney Plus.
But here's my thing about the Animaniacs. Why is it not on HBO Max?
Well, the reason why they talked about that. It's because the deal was made for the first season before Disney bought controlling stake of Hulu.
Yeah. I mean, and like, I figured it was something like that, but just the irony. You know, some executive somewhere is just sitting there going, God damn it.
Yeah, and like there is talks that season 2 of Animaniacs, if it is greenlit for a season 2, they'll just boot it over to HBO Max. So hopefully, if enough people watch this amazing return of form that Animaniacs is going through, then we will see it return in a bigger format on HBO Max. And then like people have a reason to watch HBO Max besides like doing the free trial for 5 minutes. Because God knows, other than Lovecraft Country, they ain't doing a whole lot.
If they stick with having their 2021 film slate up on it, like they'll be fine. Because it's what, a 17 movie film slate?
I think it's like 17 or 21.
Something like that. But I mean, you got shit like Dune coming out next year, and Dune, for all of my complicated feelings about it, is kind of the remake that a lot of hardcore sci-fi fans have been waiting for.
Well, and that's a whole different topic in general.
That's not an endorsement of the movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. But like that's the other thing people are worried about too. Before we get into the rest of the Disney shit, is that like people are worried that like HBO Max and WB are kind of trying to just throw the theaters in the dumpster by having their entire slate on HBO Max, and it's like they're kind of just trying to make sure they can still make money, and I don't blame them.
Like, I think the argument is both really stupid, but also does have some merit. Because you cannot seriously sit here and blame fucking Warner Brothers for the death of cinema. I mean, Warner Brothers is a successful studio. I'd argue it's probably number 2 in movie studios. Because, you have Disney and then you have Warner Brothers. So I'd argue that it's kind of number 2. So, and it pulls in decent chunks of money every year. And so I can see why Warner Brothers doing this would hurt theaters, but I don't think it's going to completely obliterate them. Now, if Disney and Warner Brothers both do this, then theaters are fucked.
Yeah.
Is that so bad though? Like, media changes all the time.
I mean, and obviously I'm a bitch who loves her IMAX movies. Yeah. And for when Victoria and I go out to an IMAX movie, it's about $50, and then we'll see that IMAX movie multiple times. Can you tell that we don't have children? But so I mean, Victoria and I, when a big ticket movie like that is coming out in IMAX, and so we'll budget in advance to see it, and we love the IMAX experience because it's so goddamn cool. I mean, I paid to see Dark Phoenix in IMAX.
Oh, God.
That should tell you something.
Oh, and I mean...
Visually it worked. In IMAX, it is visually stunning. In regular format, not so much.
I've yet to see that movie, and I have no interest in seeing my X-Men die like that.
I mean, it has Dazzler, so that, I mean...
I'm not trying to see Sansa Stark wield way too much power.
Yeah, I'm not trying to see X-Men: The Last Stand without Hugh Jackman. I don't need that kind of sadness in my life.
I do give it women points though. I do give it women points because Jean has far more agency in the movie than she does in the comic, so it has woman points for me. But so I can see theaters still trying to do something like an IMAX format because there's now a format slightly above IMAX where the screen like wraps around you or whatever. Yeah. I have a friend in New York City, and I don't remember what this kind of theater experience is called, but she saw Birds of Prey in that format, and she said it's kind of like you're just sitting in the middle of the room while everything in the movie is happening. Like you are just in the room with the movie. So if they can advance the experience, the theater experience while making it, slightly more affordable, I think then it will be fine. But I think traditional, 2D standard def movie screens, I think those are going away. Because like Travis said, media evolves all the time and movie sales have been declining for years.
Most def.
Oh
God.
I mean, and I was going to say ticket sales have been declining for years, save the tentpole blockbusters. 90-ish% of them are terrible. And it kind of goes in, and the argument that I like to use, and this is not a boo, this bad, is that Marvel, the MCU, ruined movies. And I'm not saying that like, boo, I don't like the MCU. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But each movie has to be a phenomenon. And each movie, theoretically speaking, has to break $1 billion. And so other studios are kind of like, okay, well, let's push all of these creative movies off to the side and just make, this generic Mummy reboot with Tom Cruise, MCU Universal. And, so they throw in like 5 movies worth of budget into one thing and it flops. And it's just everything has to be a tentpole action film that's going to make $1 billion.
Like they raise the bar so high that there's nowhere for the bar to go.
Exactly. And I'm not even talking quality, I'm talking scope, because, movies are subjective, but you can't really compare something like the, visual grandeur of Endgame versus the incredible script of Parasite. So you can't really compare that, but, people want to see more things like Endgame than they, you would go to the movies to see shit like Endgame, but you'd watch Parasite at home kind of a thing.
Exactly. And I mean, like, there was for a long time, and Travis, I know you've seen it, like the old school, like old-fashioned theaters that will only have like the matinee on Sunday kind of thing. Like you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, Travis died.
Say again.
Like, you know how like you'll have like the old school theaters that will only be open like 1 or 2 days a week with like the matinee price and the one big theater show?
Yeah, they still have a drive-in one of those in Vegas, which is only a couple hours from me.
Yeah, and like I think that's what's gonna happen to a lot of movie theaters, that you have like one big ass day or big ass couple days where you can come in, see one movie, and pay your bills. Like I think that like Cinemark and everything and Cineworld, they're trying to prop themselves up and be like, we're still a cornerstone of American everything, yada yada. Like I understand what you're saying, because like theaters are something that has been enjoyable since like the 20s and stuff like that, like when movies were first becoming a thing, and that was something that really mattered back then, and you would take their whole family to the movie theater and yada yada. I get you, and I like your feeling is valid, but it's gonna come to a point where like Mary said, you only see specialty theaters, whether they be IMAX or whether they be like the Sunday matinee only kind of thing. Or it'll be to the point where a lot of people own their own movie theaters and like put the thing going themselves because they enjoy the hobby of seeing movies in that kind of format. So it's not a bad thing.
I think something else that also plays into it is how much of ticket sales studios are keeping. Because I remember, I forget which Star Wars movie it was, but there was the big kerfluffle because Disney's like, yeah, no, fuck you. We're going to keep like all of this money. And the theaters are like, fucking really? And it just became this big issue because theaters actually make very little money on ticket sales. That's why the snacks are so expensive. And I think, studios are trying to keep more and more of the ticket sales. So then the theaters are losing baseline revenue, and nobody wants to buy like $45 popcorn.
Nope.
And we have like AMC is the big theater chain here in town. We have a Regal, but Regal is just like, we have broken reclining chairs that you pay $20 for.
Nope.
And we have one IMAX screen for the entirety of the city. We have one IMAX screen, and it's the only IMAX screen in like a 3-hour radius.
Yeah.
So, and the theater with the IMAX screen has changed hands 3 different times because, one company will fold, then Carmike bought it, and Carmike folded, then AMC got it. And now AMC is bitching and moaning, I mean, I guess understandably so, that if they don't have a cash influx really soon, they're going to run out of money by like the middle of next year. I saw the news story either yesterday or earlier today that they need something like 500 million, like they're standing to lose like $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
Because the film industry was not designed to survive something like this.
That's raw.
Yeah. And that's why AMC is kind of freaking the hell out about Warner Brothers, is because they're like, we got maybe an hour notification. I think they had like an hour's notice that Warner Brothers was doing this before Warner Brothers put out the press release. And as a fan of just the movies in general, because, that's something Victoria and I really like doing together. She got movie theater butter popcorn, and, we made a bag the other day, and it was just like that smell hit you and you're like, my God, I want to go to the movies. But so part of me is like, I'm going to be sad, to see the fact that these theaters are going to be so affected. But at the same time, as someone who wants to see these movies, I cannot commend Warner Brothers enough for this decision, because it's going to keep people home. It's going to keep people safe. Like, this is the right move.
Yeah.
So
she cleared it right there. That was perfect.
And Canada's going to get the movie, so I can not feel too bad while talking about it, I guess.
Yeah, at first the concern was and for a lot of people, because DC and HBO Max had problems putting things over in Canada, and even Disney has had issues with Disney Plus being in Canada, and it's that's a concern all of its own. And I know there's the big issue of piracy going on, whether in Canada or overseas, because of these companies not getting their.
Oh, Wonder Woman's going to be pirated like nobody's fucking business.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna happen, and it's because WB ain't got that shit together.
Well, they planned on releasing it internationally in theaters in countries that had a intelligent handling on the crisis, but cases are starting to spike worldwide, and so there are several countries that have since closed their theaters. So they can't watch video on demand. Their theaters are closed. They want to watch the movie. They're just gonna pirate it. It will probably be up the next day, because it's actually opening internationally the week before Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's in international theaters. I'm spitballing here. I think the 18th. And then it's going to be available in the US and Canada on Christmas Day, which means Mary's going to have to block out a lot of shit if she doesn't want the movie spoiled.
So from there, we're gonna head back towards the what Disney had going on, because the Hulu thing does kind of create several different tangents that are worth talking about, especially because we haven't been here in a hot minute. But from the Hulu stuff, we move into the Lucasfilm stuff, and the big thing that had all of the prequel boys freaking the hell out was the fact that Hayden Christensen has been announced to return to play Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show we're getting for Disney Plus. And I don't know how to feel about this, because I was at a point where I don't even need Ewan McGregor to put on the robes again. It's nice. It's how I feel about Boba being back in Mandalorian. It's nice to see you again, but
tread lightly.
I'm not fat shaming him. Don't because those motherfuckers can kiss my ass. It was amazing to see Boba back on the field. Don't get me wrong, that shit was sexy, and I
love that Morrison is as geeked as I am about being Boba.
Yeah, he loves the fact that he was able to come back and do this shit. But it's when it comes to Obi-Wan and Anakin, I'm at the point where I want some new Star Wars content. I'm more excited for this High Republic shit that Cullen Bunn and all the motherfuckers are doing. That's supposed to be the way that Lucasfilm and Disney are going to reboot the Knights of the Old Republic. I'm more excited for that than I am, and that's prequel shit. That's prequel on top of prequel shit going on. I'm more excited for that than I am for Ewan McGregor's old ass to come back and play Obi-Wan again, just for it to be a prequel between 3 and 4. I'm at the point where yay, this is cool, but I was ready to move on to the next chapter, if that makes sense.
I mean, personally, I'm kind of the justice for the prequel actors. Those poor bastards got put through they got put through the ringer.
That's true.
Bring Jar Jar back in the Mando.
Yes. Apparently Jar Jar died in the freaking Wending books.
I think he does.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the kid that played young Anakin in Phantom Menace, he had his life ruined.
Yes.
His life was over. I mean, and it's something, it's kind of reminiscent. It's called the Star Wars curse, basically. That if you do Star Wars, you're not really gonna have a career afterwards. I mean, Ewan McGregor got lucky. Natalie Portman dropped off the face of the earth for years because she was going to college.
Yep.
Hayden Christensen basically fell off the whole map.
Yeah,
and then he did Jumper and came back and then jumped off again.
Yeah, the man virtually had no career because he was Anakin from those shitty Star Wars movies. And now I'm of the firm belief that, Lucas did what he wanted to do and the franchise was his to do whatever the hell he wanted with it. And so it's like it was gonna happen whether we wanted it to or not. There was no corporate overlord there. It was just Lucas. And they were serviceable. They made money. I'm usually into Star Wars for the space wizards and laser swords, so I'm not like super in tune with it. Because like I am a fan of Star Wars, but I'm not a capital Star Wars fan, capital F. Does that make any sense?
That makes perfect sense. Like you're there for the ride, not for all the shit in between.
Because there's a video essayist on YouTube, and she did a video a year or so ago. Victoria and I were actually watching it just before the show, about how she didn't really like The Rise of Skywalker, and she goes through this hilarious list of shit that was just terrible. And Victoria made a point. She said that extended universe material isn't there to enhance the experience. It's fucking required these days. And Victoria finds that completely exhausting, and I don't think she's wrong. That I think EU stuff should enhance the experience, like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian enhances the experience of watching, say, I'd say honestly, the original 3, because, Victoria pointed out earlier today that The Mandalorian is what the first Star Wars movie was supposed to be. It's a space western. And so, like, it enhances that experience, but you're not required to watch The Mandalorian to enjoy anything else in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, you could just think Boba was dead and not be affected by it.
Yeah, and, this YouTuber, she got to the end of the video and talking about how Rey's lightsaber is yellow. And I had to stop and explain to Victoria that the color of the lightsaber, you have the stupid little crystal that you put in the handle. And she's just...
How dare you?
And she's just kind of like, why do I need to know this? And this is after I gave her like an hour lecture of everything that's happened to Wally West.
Oh God. Oh, that sounds painful.
Somebody pray for this woman.
Oh, Lord help us. But no, and like you go down the list of different things they're working on, and like you have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to moving on to a Rangers of the New Republic show and an Ahsoka show. I'm not really happy about the idea of an Ahsoka Tano show solely because of the fact that I'm a diehard Ahsoka fan that is just kind of satisfied with Rosario being there for 5 minutes, and I didn't even need that. I was happy with what happened at the end of not episode 6, but like the end of Rebels, where like she just goes off as like the only semi-gray Jedi in existence and just becomes a sage and doesn't bother anybody. Like, I was cool with that. And then they're like, nah, she still has her lightsabers and is doing shit in Mandalorian. I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. But like, now it's like, you're trying to ride the fan service into the ground to the point you don't even have the woman that originally played her involved. Like, Ashley Eckstein is nowhere to be found. And it just, I want new content. Like,
didn't Katie Sackhoff play the live action version of the character she voiced?
She did. She played Bo-Katan in like Clone Wars and Rebels, and then played her in Mandalorian. That's what had me so perplexed about why Eckstein didn't play her in Mandalorian.
Because I never, we hear confession here. I think I've seen a total of like 4 episodes of the Clone Wars. And even I know, like, I am aware of the show. I'm aware of what happens. I think I've seen a total of 4 episodes. But even I know how much she loves that character. And I pulled up the picture of her in the Ahsoka cosplay that I've seen, and I showed Victoria. And Victoria's like, why didn't she just do it? And I'm like, good fucking question.
Exactly. And it's like, Ashley Eckstein has done so much work for Disney and Lucasfilm creating the Her Universe brand, like getting more women to enjoy Star Wars, like despite the gatekeeping. And it's like, why didn't you just grab her, put her in the makeup and do it? Like, it perplexes me. And it's like, I'm more excited for like it's a little bit fan servicey, but it's newer content, like The Bad Batch being a sequel to Clone Wars. Like, that excites me more because it's characters that deserve their story to be told, that we already ain't been with them for 50,000 times. And like freaking Lando, we barely know anything about Lando's journey. Let's do a Donald Glover Lando show, even though I'm a Lando Calrissian fan to die for. Like, those are my 2 fan service things that I care about. But it's like, at least there's something to do there that we can pull from. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, they're done. We don't need more of that. Like, I don't get it. And now we find out that freaking Patty Jenkins is doing a Rogue Squadron movie, and I'm like, yeah, give me that.
Disney fucked up with that one. Because they're like, we're sorry for Thor the Dark World, now we have to pay you actual money.
Exactly.
Patty Jenkins was the original director for Thor the Dark World, and there was some kind of creative difference. Natalie Portman is the only one that will actually talk about it because she's super shitty still, and that's why Natalie Portman wasn't in Ragnarok, is because she broke her contract and she's like, fuck all y'all. Because Patty Jenkins was her hand-picked to direct Thor the Dark World. And so they separated. Patty was fired. I'm not sure. Warner Brothers is like, hey, do you want to do Wonder Woman? And she refused multiple times before finally going, Jesus fucking Christ, I'll direct Wonder Woman. And now she is the highest paid lady director in all of Hollywood, and now Disney has to pay her actual money.
To do Rogue Squadron.
I mean, and Patty Jenkins, her father was a fighter pilot. So, you know, that's why she really took to Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman. That's why she's really, you know, kind of enamored with this. And you know, Patty will knock it out of the park. She only has a handful of film credits to her name, but I think one of her first movies was directing Charlize Theron to an Oscar. So, so Patty will do very well. And I just think it's hilarious that Disney just royally shit the bed on this one. They screwed it up, and now they actually have to pay Patty Jenkins money. And we all know Disney likes to do shit on the cheap.
Travis, what do you think of all the Star Wars news before we move on?
Honestly, I just want Mace Windu to come and teach Grogu the ways of the Force.
Thank you.
Fucking all I want. I'm just gonna throw that into the ether. He still could be alive. Sam Jackson considers him alive.
I must say, Sam Jackson keeps saying that he's alive, so like, if it happens, then fuck it. But like,
hey, and him and Favreau are homies, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
That's true. That's true.
A Mace Windu show.
A Mace Windu show would be fucking baller. I will say that. Like, you find out he's just.
We need either an R-rated Mace Windu property or an R-rated Nick Fury property, just so Sam Jackson can say fuck as many times as he wants to.
Okay. From there, we move into the. No, I would be fucking baller. It would be great. Like, I've been saying for ages that I want like a Mace Windu prequel, like novel, or like a Mace Windu survives being thrown out the freaking window somehow moment. Like, we know he's a voice in Rey's head in Rise of Skywalker, but I would love to see like Samuel L. Jackson just be an old, like not decapitated, but like missing a hand, man. Jesus, but like running around without a hand, just cutting bitches up, like that would be hilarious. Like, it would be great.
Hey, man, Luke survived a fall like that, catching on a fucking what looked like a 1950s radio antenna on Bespin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's possible. It's possible. I'd watch it. Fuck it.
I just want it R-rated so Sam Jackson can swear as much as he wants to.
Yes, him being in a freaking Alexa voice, it still cracks me up. So now we're moving into the more central Disney news before we go into the Marvel shit. And god damn it. I hate that like we're getting this, but I'm at the point where it's like the whole thing with the Snyder Cut that I'm just like, finally we can stop hearing about this and it can just be a thing that we're finally getting a Hocus Pocus 2. I'm like, finally we can stop hearing about it and it can just like exist and be in the ether and not have to worry about it. What?
I didn't know about this. What?
You didn't know about Hocus Pocus 2 being announced?
No, I didn't. Oh my god!
It was finally confirmed, and Adam Shankman will be directing it.
Oh my god! Like, obviously, Bette Midler's coming back.
Oh, of course, the whole cast said they're coming back.
Oh my god, Kathy Najimy and Sarah Jessica Parker coming back too.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Come on, ask any gay person what their favorite, like, you know, Halloween movie is, and 95% of them will say either Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus.
Halloween Town.
You got me.
Either Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus.
You got me. Friggin' randomly, we're getting a 3 Men and a Baby remake starring Zac Efron, which, okay, sure, I'll watch it. Fuck it.
I mean, that is the potential to be kind of homophobic. So,
I mean,
like,
in this day and age, yes, but like the original was such a cult classic for Disney when they were making Miramax that they're like, fuck it, let's remake it.
Oh no, the original I like the original, and I saw that they're doing another Cheaper by the Dozen. It's like the third one now.
Yeah, they're doing Cheap by the Dozen with Gabrielle Union, and I'm like, oh, Black Cheaper by the Dozen. I'm ready for the racial jokes, but all right, I'm here for it.
First one, it was Steve Martin, then Ashton Kutcher, and yeah, so I think this is the third version of it.
No. Ashton Kutcher was just in the background of the first Steve Martin one.
Okay, I'm totally confused then.
He was dating the oldest daughter, and he like that he was the one who got his underwear stuck in the meat, and the dog ate his pants.
Okay, all right, I see.
And then the biggest highlight of like the sort of not specific Disney news, but sort of like Miramaxy old school type news is that Whoopi Goldberg's gonna come back for a Sister Act 3, and it's directed by Tyler Perry, and I'm like, also produced by Tyler Perry, and I'm like,
you had me at Whoopi Goldberg, but you lost me at Tyler Perry. Like. Because when I heard about that, I'm like, oh my God, Victoria, they're doing Sister Act 3. And she's like, what? And I said, and God, it's being produced by Tyler Perry. And you lost me at Tyler Perry.
I mean, Whoopi's been talking about she wanted to do a third one for so many years that she was going to do it like hell or high water. So, like, I'm going to watch it solely because, McGonagall's going to come back for her cameo as the head nun. Like, it's going to happen. Yeah, Maggie Smith's gonna walk in out of nowhere.
I just wish Tyler Perry had nothing to do with this. I don't need the dark-skinned black man being the villain for someone to be saved by the light-skinned black man in a shitty cornrow wig.
Thank you, Huey Freeman. I appreciate you for your reference, but like I'm at the point where it's just like, if Whoopi wants to make the movie, let her make the damn movie. Like, I don't even care anymore. Like, she's been wanting it for so goddamn long, and as long as I get my cameo from Maggie Smith, I don't care. Like, that's literally where I'm at. Like Whoopi's gonna get to a point here in a minute where she's gonna roll over just like everybody else. So it's like, let her get it in before that happens. Like, Maggie Smith is still here to make the cameo, so do it while you can. Like, that's how I feel at this point. From there, we move into the more Disney-ish news. The one thing that I'm very excited about is that John Mulaney, Andy Samberg, and Seth Rogen are going to do a Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers movie. And I'm motherfucking hyped. Barry, what did you say?
I said fucking Chip 'n Dale. I love it.
I'm like really worried because like those three together.
It sounds like a perfect pair.
See,
Travis, you cut out. Are you there?
I'm leery.
It sounds like they're turning a Disney movie into a stoner flick.
Yeah, and I'm typically leery about Seth Rogen because there's really no middle ground with him. He either improves it or just horribly ruins it. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, but I mean, Mulaney is hysterical.
And Samberg is great, so this could be a golden movie for Disney. Pinocchio is being made. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that when I first saw the Chip 'n Dale announcement, my dyslexic brain read it as Chippendales, as in the dancers. And I'm like, oh, what? Oh, God, no, wait. Okay, woof. So, like, my brain's just kind of like, oof.
That's great. I love that. Pinocchio is being directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Tom Hanks, and I'm like, all right, that's gold. Do it. I don't care. Make it happen. Like, Tom Hanks has already played Walt Disney and Mr. Rogers. Like, the man can do no wrong. Like, unless he eats up like a pack of puppies, like, there's nothing that man can do to hurt himself. So, like, that's fine. Are you excited for a Pinocchio movie, either of you?
I mean, I'm ambivalent about Pinocchio in general, but I have a friend in college who actually met Tom Hanks, and apparently he is just the sweetest person in the world.
Oh, that's good.
Like, as nice as you think he is somehow nicer.
Wow.
So that's just I like telling that Tom Hanks story, but
Yeah.
I am ambivalent about Pinocchio.
I'm gonna say like we know the tale, like it'll be fine. So like, well, sure, just do it.
It's in that stack of Disney movies I've never seen because I wasn't allowed to watch Disney movies growing up.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it is this
Wait,
whole
what?
big. I was not allowed to watch Disney movies growing up, with very few exceptions, because my mother was a staunch second wave feminist. We're talking marched in Washington for the Equal Rights Amendment in the 70s second wave feminist, which is something she actually did. And she didn't want me watching Disney as a little girl because she didn't want it to send the wrong message. And it's not just princess movies, it's most of Disney, that she felt that the women in Disney films were usually kind of being portrayed as, not quite as smart or weaker, or, there's emotional strength, and then there's like air quotes emotional strength that they use to describe, female lady characters who are largely useless. And so my mom didn't want me to get the wrong idea, or that, I needed a man to come save me. And like that, coupled with my dad watching Xena, I feel like possibly made me gay. But
holy shit.
but no. But so I've actually not seen a great majority of Disney films because I have never seen Beauty and the Beast, but we did the musical when I was in high school. I was the stage manager for the musical in high school, so I've actually never seen the film. I have never seen The Little Mermaid.
Wow.
I've never seen Snow White, but I have seen Maleficent. I have seen wait, did I say Snow White?
Yes.
I meant Sleeping Beauty. I've seen Snow White in a cinema class I took in college, and then I've seen Cinderella because of my grandmother, I think.
Have you seen Peter Pan?
No, I've never seen Peter Pan.
Well, good, because we're getting Peter Pan and Wendy starring Jude Law, and I'm freaking simping for Jude Law always, so I'm excited for that.
I was allowed to watch Aladdin for some inexplicable reason. I think it's because my dad really liked 1001 Arabian Nights.
That's fair.
The actual book. I was allowed to watch Mulan because Mulan got to fight. So Mulan was a warrior, and she wasn't, as what my mother considered useless. So I was allowed to watch Mulan. I was allowed to watch Hercules and The Lion King. And so those are, until obviously I became a teenager, and I haven't seen shit like Tangled or anything like that. So I haven't seen a large majority of Disney films. So I'm relatively ambivalent about most of them.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, up until Brave and Moana, your mom was like spot the fuck on what they did to female characters.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch.
Because and I have seen Lilo and Stitch. I was allowed to watch Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
They gave it boobs. Fair. It's an alien.
Yeah. But once I got old enough, like obviously I saw Princess and the Frog. I think I was in college. I saw Brave. I mean, and these are all like I watched these on DVD. I don't know if I think the last Disney cartoon movie I saw in theaters was maybe Mulan.
Okay.
So it's usually whenever I say I wasn't allowed to watch Disney movies growing up, I usually get like a rubberneck double take. Like what?
No, because I went to a Christian college where like half of them have been so sheltered they were never allowed to watch Disney shit. So like I just kind of accepted it at this point. Like everyone in Indiana that I know of just never hasn't seen Disney shit, so I kind of just accepted it. Like it's not saying your state's bad. I'm just kind of assuming.
No. And it's typically like when I do talk about, my mom's feminist feelings regarding Disney, sometimes a lot of women will get typically very huffy about it because it's like, well, I don't think like that. And I watched these movies, and I'm like, take it up with my mother then. Like, don't yell at me for it.
Did you ever see Enchanted?
I have not, and Victoria is very angry about it. I have never seen
Enchanted. You better watch it
Enchanted.
before the sequel comes out.
Well, Victoria, she absolutely loves Enchanted, and I really like Amy Adams, and we were actually talking about this, I think, the other day, where she's like, I need to make you watch this movie, and I'm like, I have nothing against it, we've just never sat down to watch it. Because I know it has Amy Adams and Cyclops and the guy from Grey's Anatomy, and then the lady that voiced Ariel is a secretary or something.
I think so, yeah.
And I know one of the big jokes in the movie is that Idina Menzel is in it, but she doesn't sing. And,
yep.
and Victoria is just very angry. I have never seen Enchanted.
Well, the sequel's coming out called Disenchanted, and why do we need this? Like, the story had a very finite ending. Like, you're kind of just pulling Amy Adams back in just to say, oh, everything's gonna go wrong. And I don't know if I like that kind of sequel to be made.
It's because millennials and nostalgia, James, will throw money at anything.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Diary of the Wimpy Kid getting a new animated series on Disney Plus. Night at the Museum is getting a new animated series, which I'm disgusted by. Leave it alone. They announced the full cast for Little Mermaid, and Daveed Diggs is playing Sebastian, and I couldn't be happier. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm really excited about that. And Awkwafina's playing the pelican Scuttle. Dude, Scuttle. I'm excited about that.
See, I feel like I've seen enough clips of The Little Mermaid to say that maybe I have seen the film, but obviously I have a very close connection with Ursula because I'm a homosexual. And Ursula's visual appearance was based off of Divine, who is a very famous drag queen from the 70s with the John Waters films. Yes. So that's the one thing you really do learn about The Little Mermaid being gay. And I think the only person, there were only a few people that I would have accepted for Ursula, and Melissa McCarthy is one of them.
Yes, I'm excited about that. Zootopia is getting a Disney Plus show. Moana is getting a Disney Plus show.
I'm real skeptical about this Zootopia show.
Don't feed the furries.
It just feels like the gateway for furries to go hog wild, and we accept furries here at Panel to Panel, but I don't know if we needed this.
Still, I talked about it on Blurred Grounds briefly, but the premise of Zootopia is kind of more racist than the message.
Yeah, cops good. Man.
Yeah, well, predators are naturally disposed to do bad shit. There's no real parallel there between human and animal. You know what I mean? And it tells kids that they have a disposition for violence and claws and sharp teeth, and that's so far from the fucking truth.
Yeah. Baymax is getting a TV show. Tiana's getting a TV show, and I couldn't be happier because it feels like Disney's between them redoing the theming of the one Disney ride from Song of the South to Princess and the Frog, and them giving Tiana her own show. It feels like they're trying to rectify what they did to Tiana and be like, yo, we actually can make this right. Let us make this right. And I'm here for it. I'm open to this.
What's Baymax?
Baymax is the big, fluffy white balloon thing from Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6 is the best Disney movie ever that got completely shut the fuck out by Frozen.
Because Big Hero 6 is that one Marvel thing. Yeah, it's the one the other Marvel Tsunami property that came out with Runaways that everyone got booted over to Disney.
Okay.
And it became a really big thing at Disney, but everyone forgets it was a Marvel property.
Fucking Tsunami.
Yeah, wasn't it like China's Avengers damn near?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Japanese. It was supposed to be because that was when during the 2000s Marvel Tsunami was a thing where Runaways, Big Hero 6, and a couple other things came out trying to promote more diversity shit.
Well, no, it was a response to the early 2000s manga boom. And so it was Marvel. It was Marvel's manga imprint, and so each of the Tsunami books was meant to elicit a manga type feel. And the only Marvel property that actually survived the imprint folding was Runaways.
Runaways was the only thing that came out, and Big Hero 6 got Disney-fied.
But it's so good Disney-fied. It teaches you about loss and all kinds of crazy shit.
Honestly, Mary, if you and Victoria ever need a movie night, that's something I would definitely recommend. It's actually a really good movie.
Okay.
I
didn't know.
Yeah. So Disney and Pixar are making a Buzz Lightyear movie, and it's starring Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear. And Chris Evans made it abundantly clear on Twitter that this isn't like, oh, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. This is like the story of Buzz Lightyear, like the thing the toy was based on. So like it's literally going to be like an astronaut. And I'm like, I was already skeptical about you taking over for Tim Allen just because Disney's tired of Tim Allen's redneck ass, but like,
fuck Tim Allen.
Yeah, fuck Tim
Honestly.
Allen. Like, yeah, no, like, fuck him. Like, get him out at this point. But it's like, I was already skeptical of you taking over, Chris. But now you're telling me you're not even gonna like rehash like the little like animated series they gave him of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. You're just gonna be an astronaut. I don't know if that's gonna be compelling enough for the kids, Chris.
See, all right, I'm gonna be the straight in the room, and I'm really excited for Pixar ass.
He's saying he'll be the straight in the room. That's true. Oh, thank you for that, Travis. You made my night. That's funny. Mary, do you have any opinions about a Buzz Lightyear movie?
I mean, not really. Sorry, I'm chewing.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I think it's a dumb premise. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but like, why?
That's how I feel. It's like, we didn't need this, but like, okay, thanks. Like, it's one of those things where someone hands you a chocolate chip cookie that you didn't ask for, and it's like, I'll eat it, but like, I didn't need it. Like, thanks. Like,
it's almost like this old Patton Oswalt joke that I heard when he was talking about the prequels for Star Wars. Like, hey, do you like Toy Story? Well, here's a story about Buzz Lightyear and how he came to be. It's almost like someone asks you if they like ice cream and they give you rock salt instead of ice cream.
I mean, yeah, that's a great way to put that. And then we're getting a couple other like short things. Like they're introducing like the dog from Up is getting some short like clip episode things. They apparently have a Cars like fourth film in the works that no one cares about anymore because they're trying to bring back Cars. And I'm just like, why? No one cares anymore. I'm really excited for the Raya the Last Dragon movie that's coming out in March. That looks freaking amazing for what I've seen.
Was that the one with Kelly Marie Tran?
Yes.
Okay.
That one looks freaking amazing.
Disney got to do right by that woman.
Yes, very much so. I think they're trying to do that with this movie because it looks really good. I think they're trying to like cash in on how well like Mulan did in her generation, not the new one, like the 90s, not the new one, but like I think they're trying to like give a second try at that, and I think they might have found a winner with this one, especially with diving more into the mythology that Mulan tried to do with the dragon and the ghost, and like try to do more of that. I'm kind of excited to see what they do.
I'm getting real close to just hate watching the live action Mulan.
I watched half of it the other day because my roommate had it on, and I was just like, please God, no.
I love Gong Li. She's the actress that plays the witch. I adore her. I will throw money at anything that woman like. I could not like $30 justify paying to see that, bullshit movie. Oh god, Gong Li isn't hot enough to save that movie.
Damn.
And the fact that Liu Yifei is a police.
Yeah, that makes it worse. Honestly,
makes it worse.
Like for me at this point, I'm like, if I want to watch Mulan, I can go watch her be in a Mandalorian and then watch her be in Bad Batch next year. Like I don't need to watch that movie. Like she's like her actress is doing amazing in other properties, kicking ass. I don't need to watch this train wreck of a movie. And like from there we move into the more thing you would expect from the comic podcast to talk about the Marvel content. They have announced they're giving a new. They're basically giving us the Nick Fury show without it being the Nick Fury show. It's gonna be Secret Invasion. So they're gonna. What was that?
I hate Secret Invasion.
I mean, it's not the best book, but like,
I mean, I applaud it for like trying to do something interesting, but oh my god, everyone was secretly a Skrull the whole time. What?
that's why Hank
kinda
didn't
like
beat
a
his wife, because
continuation
he
of
was a
Captain Marvel.
Skrull, guys.
Oh god, it hurt so bad. Like
See, and like,
if Marvel wants to retcon shit, just put your pants on and pull the plug. Like,
yeah, and like when it comes to Secret Invasion, like if you really want to do Secret Invasion, you shouldn't have made the Skrulls sympathetic in Captain Marvel. Like,
exactly.
you ruined your chance.
How the fuck is that gonna work? Because it's like, oh, but these are the good Skrulls. The rest of them are bad. And it's just like, they set themselves up for failure. It is a dumb event that they just did to retcon a bunch of shit. Like,
Yeah.
When they easily could have done Secret Wars and had Nick Fury whisper to Thor and make that motherfucker unworthy for a great season ender.
I mean, well, that was during Original Sin. That was a whole different thing. But
yeah.
but in general, like Secret Invasion was just a train, and it was like, hey, let's fix the whole Hank thing. Let's say that Mockingbird's still alive. Let's kill Elektra again for the 1,000th time, and it was just a mess. So when like Marvel has the chance to fix it, there's potential for this to either be really good or really stupid. So I hope they're not like lining Samuel L. Jackson up for something stupid. They have announced the Ironheart TV show, and Dominique Thorne is going to be playing Riri, and cool. Let me know when there's a trailer. That's how I feel about that. Same thing with the next one. That
and
Don Cheadle.
Base it off the Bendis run. That's
please God, no. I mean, like, you have to use the infrastructure of the Bendis run, but like, not all of it.
You have to have the infrastructure because that is her basic introduction.
Yeah.
But like, I will like throw money at e-viewing. Like, can you just do this? Like, because I mean, the Bendis book isn't terrible,
but it ain't great.
But it's not great, and it tried to do the whole Riri is amazing because the book tells you she's amazing, and it's like, no, if you read the character for 5 minutes, you're like, oh my god, this character is awesome, but the book shoves it under your nose how perfect and amazing, and perfect she is, and it's like, just let the writing speak for itself. Like,
it's rough. And then, like, they have, like, the whole, like, first half of the book is her having a freaking dick measuring contest with Sharon Carter, and it's like, please stop. Like, please, God, stop.
I mean,
hopefully they can do something for her.
E-viewing did it perfectly. Jim Zub, like, did it better than Bendis. Like, but I'd say just throw money at E-viewing because that Ironheart series was a damn good book.
Yes, it was. It was amazing. But like, same thing how I feel about the Ironheart movie or TV show is how I feel about Armor Wars, a TV show starring Don Cheadle. And I'm just like, cool. I don't know why you didn't just have him be Riri's mentor in Ironheart. Like he was supposed, like he should have been in the book. Like, you should have just made him her mentor and not Tony. But like, cool. I don't care. Like, I don't think Tony uses his own TV. I swear to God, if they bring Downey back to do that shit, I will choke somebody out, man. Like that, like it was the dumbest fucking thing, and if they do it, I will.
Computer ghost.
And you could tell that no one was happy at Marvel during the Computer Ghost saga because Spencer was just like, yeah, the Computer Ghost Tony is just a part of Secret Empire. Who cares? And that's what made it worse. So, like, there's that one really good moment. I know I keep bringing up fucking Hank beating his wife this episode, which annoys me. But it's like, there's that moment in the third issue of Secret Empire where, like, Tony calls out Hank as like for beating Jan, and it's like it doesn't even resonate of like how much of a bitch slap to Hank this is because it's a computer program. But that's the last I'm talking about.
I mean, I saw that Michelle Pfeiffer's coming back for the next Ant-Man movie or whatever, and I'm like, I swear to God, like, I know that it's uncomfortable, but like, you have to address it. Like, see, particularly as, a certified lady person, I am torn on that because, like, no, you did this storyline, you gotta live with it, but that could potentially be very uncomfortable. So, like,
especially with like how Whitley did such a well job with Hope and like fixed it to being a mental health thing. It's like you might as well address it.
I mean, because, in Whitley's Wasp, it is not excused. It is not excused at all.
No.
It is contextualized. And I think that contextualization is important. And I think that's the kind of nuance the MCU is really bad at.
So, like, if they randomly say that, like, Michael Douglas is, like has bipolar, that would be a great thing. But, like, I don't know. From there, we move into the Hiddleston girls can start simping now moment where the Loki trailer came up, and I ain't got no bone in this fight. I'm like, cool.
It looks pretty good.
It looks alright, but I ain't got no bone in this fight.
I didn't watch the trailer, but like there has been we've seen set photos of a woman on set running around in Loki's costume. So I'm like, either do Lady Loki, you cowards, like, because they have.
they're gonna do it.
There's the whole thing of Jamie Alexander coming back for Love and Thunder, so they could. It's possible.
But I mean, in terms of Loki, kind of, because comic book Loki is gender fluid. Like, and Loki will flip back and forth because, like, in the Secret Wars 2 tie-in for A-Force, it's Lady Loki, and because you have Child Loki, regular Loki, and Lady Loki, and so like, do Lady Loki, you cowards, like that is the only stake I have in that fight is do Lady Loki, you cowards.
Also, Owen Wilson. That's
that was a weird one.
I saw the screen cap of that.
He was very comedic in the trailer, and it was like, all right, I could be down with you being in a Marvel thing. Let's see what happens.
They gave him like a snide detective kind of thing, and I'm cool with that. But like, I don't think I've ever seen Owen Wilson in something like this. So I'm
no, he typically doesn't.
It feels like if Owen Wilson was casted as Coulson. That's like the best way I can describe it. It's like he's very fucking snarky, like how Coulson was.
And he means Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Coulson?
No, I mean Coulson, period. I mean, like, it feels like someone brought Owen Wilson in to be that sort of, like, secret agent type business person, how Coulson was, and be that snarky dude. But, WandaVision got a new trailer.
I am excited as hell to see her call Paul Bettany a fucking toaster.
I'm at a point where with WandaVision where literally I'm just like, give me my kids, give me Hulkling and Wiccan and Speed and like Elizabeth Olsen could take her check and walk out. Like that's how I feel. Like literally, like I it sounds like I'm demeaning her in that regard, but it's like. We know from the trailers that we're getting the gay representation we wanted for a long time. Like, just put like, give us the kids, age them up, and like, it's very obvious you don't want to be here much longer, Elizabeth. So, like, let's go. Like, like, do I sound really bad there? Like, help me out here.
No, you're good. Because personally, I just want the specific scene where she calls him a toaster and Vision, a robot, still does.
I mean, that's the one good scene from Tom King's book. I think if we're being realistic, it's the one good scene.
All I'm gonna say,
but Mary, am I wrong by saying that?
No. I think people are giving Disney way too much wiggle room with the gay shit. Because will they do it? They might. Do I expect them to? Absolutely not. It's possible, but I don't think they're going to. And now if Disney wants to prove me wrong, I'll eat that crow and go home. But I don't fucking buy it. I don't.
You're not real, Mary. You're a toaster.
Yeah, I know. I'm a toaster. What's that line from Runaways where Nico calls Victor? She calls him a toaster too. But but it's just like I don't fucking buy it. And it's like, if gay Joe Russo was like the high, that was
God, I forgot about that.
godsend of a moment. And it's like, well, Joe Russo wanted to do it because he wanted to, to be part of that and to show the dedication. And it's like,
it was so bad. And it was like right when I was coming out too, and I hated it so much.
It's like, just call me a slur and walk away. That would just be easier than watching this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't, they might do it for the shows because they don't have to worry about an international box office. But at the same time, Disney Plus is in a lot of countries, and they're hoping to expand to more countries by the time the service takes off. Will they hobble it for the services as well? And I think, Disney's been jerking around, gay fans for years. Because do you remember when LeFou and Beauty and the Beast was the first?
I don't want to talk about it.
Like, and then you had, what was that? The Troll movie had, like, the gay police officer.
Yep. The, friggin' whatchamacallit, the one Pixar movie that came out recently. I forget what it's called. It had, like, the one, like, black lesbian woman in the background, and it was just like, why?
And it's just like, just shit or get off the pot. Like, everyone's like, well, they could still do this, and this. And I'm like, if they do, that's great. I don't buy it. Everybody seems to be of the opinion that they're building up to this big Young Avengers show, and find me a property Marvel has not shit on more in the last 5 years than Young Avengers.
Yeah. If we're being real honest, yeah. Like,
it's a cult favorite book. And, the first volume is all right. I liked it, but I didn't love it. But, like, the second volume. I liked the second volume better than the first volume.
I like
because... Oh, no. Like, I like the first volume. I'm just not, like, I didn't... like, oh my god, this is the most perfect thing ever. Like, I really like the book, but it's not like an A+ for me, if that makes any sense.
You just like Gilliam's writing, don't you?
No, that's more, I have issues with Alan Heinberg.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Because he wrote Wonder Woman for a while, and it's just like, I have script issues with Alan Heinberg, so it's not the book, it's the writer, if that makes any sense.
Okay, that makes sense.
But, Volume 2 did really well, and I really liked Volume 2 as well. And then where is it? Because what's the one book Marvel fans have been clamoring for years is another Young Avengers book. And what the storyline does all of Marvel seem completely uninterested in doing?
Like, you got Haley Steinfeld being announced to be Kate Bishop, but like it's obvious Haley Steinfeld's in her mid-20s and doing her own thing. So it like doesn't seem
she's like
something like that, 23, 24. And it's like you have her, and they just announced America Chavez for Multiverse of Madness. So it's like, yeah. It's very frustrating because it's like she's probably not going to be gay, and it's very annoying. And it's that's
my whole. Go ahead.
No, like I'm all about to get to your point. Like anyway, it's like she's probably not going to be gay, but they're hyping up the idea of more Spanish representation, and she's very much younger than Haley, so it's like. The age differences across the board are going to be a problem if they want to touch Young Avengers.
Because, the actress that they have playing America, I think she's going to be something like 14. So, in the movie, the actress, the actual actress will probably be around 15. And that seems to be a very convenient way to sidestep America Chavez's sexuality entirely, especially since we have Gabby Rivera doing, like, lesbian space Themyscira. That entire origin makes me break out in hives.
I hate that book so much.
And it's just like, and I've seen a lot of people, because I wrote some Twitter musings about it, and there's some people who have commented with, there's nothing stopping them from like just using a different actress later. And I've seen a lot of people on, various social media apps and Reddit and whatnot talking about how we're on like our third actress for Cassie Lang. And it's like,
yeah,
but that's the thing. Cassie Lang is a character comparatively that has no risk. Because the first Cassie was a young girl. The second one was she opened a door in Endgame.
Yeah, and she opened a door and hug him.
Yeah, and so this is going to be the first time we're seeing Cassie in any like quote unquote meaningful context. So, she's a character with virtually no risk. America's a very risky character to do. And, and I get it. I'm pulling out the conspiracy corkboard and the red thread and all that. But I feel like the big gap between America Chavez and Kate Bishop is also to partially discourage the really popular fanship that only one person at Marvel seems really interested in doing anything with.
And we know who that is.
We know who that is, Jeremy Whitley. But it's certainly not Kelly Thompson.
Oh God, no! But sorry, Travis. We're having gay teen drama fun over here. I'm sorry.
Let me reinforce how heterosexual Kate Bishop is again and again.
Sorry, Travis. We're having fun.
But it's like, and that's my genuine worry. And now, like I said, if Marvel wants to prove me wrong, I'm happy with that. But I am the buzzkill of like gay comic Twitter. I'm the one there to remind everyone that shit could still go south. And it's like, obviously it would just be easier to gripe to Victoria and let people, have whatever dreams.
No, this is your platform. You're able to have an opinion and we're going to talk about it because I agree with you on a lot of this, that like America being that young is very concerning. And like Monica Rambeau, thankfully, even though she's going to be in WandaVision, it's already been greenlit to be in Captain Marvel 2. So like, yay, but I'm concerned.
If WandaVision fucks up Monica any more than Captain Marvel did,
I'm going to
burn it all down. Because I was furious. Sitting in that theater, I paid IMAX money for that. And I was furious when I left.
Yeah, same. I was pissed.
Because Monica Rambeau is not a, Miss Marvel stand-in fangirl. Is because if you look at Captain Marvel, that's what it is Monica's a fangirl. Aunt Carol, stop it.
She literally was Captain Marvel before Carol. Like, come on.
If you want to argue it was never Monica's to begin with, and it makes more sense for Carol, like, I get it. Marvel was going to lose the license, whatever. But like,
it doesn't take away like the monumental like moment that was for us.
I don't want them to, and I don't know if this is really my place to make this comment.
Go for it.
But why does every white Marvel hero need to have a plucky POC sidekick?
Oh, she said it.
And it's almost every Marvel film. I mean, Tony Stark has Rhodey. Steve Rogers has Falcon, whose name I'm blanking on at the moment. Not Anthony Mackie, the character. Sam
Wilson.
Sam Wilson. Oh my God. But Steve has Sam. Thor has Valkyrie. And it's like,
Travis, she said it.
Yeah, I heard it. This is whew.
I mean, Chris Pratt has, all of the rest of.
Chris Pratt has a pack of minorities plus freaking Rocket. Like, it's annoying.
All three people of color in the cast are some kind of humanoid alien, and I'm like, I feel like this is a problem.
It is a problem.
Fucking Peter's got Ned. Oh.
Peter's got Ned.
And
Carol had Maria, and now I feel like they're gonna give her not only Monica, but they're gonna give her Kamala too. And you can tell I still have election brain because my brain's like Kamala Khan, and I'm like, no, it's Kamala and Kamala Harris. So like, I still have election brain. So if I hesitate, that's why.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I feel like they're gonna give the pretty blonde white lady 2 POC besties, and it's like, oh my God. Like, and I do not like it. It's just, it gives me a goddamn headache because like Monica Rambeau, everything, there is a one shot that was written by Dwayne McDuffie in the 90s. And everything you have ever wanted to know about Monica Rambeau is in that one shot.
Yes, it is.
And like that's the one book I always tell people to read. Like, it's a one shot. You can find it on Comixology. It's Captain Marvel #1. I think and it's also in like the Monica Rambeau trade. Yes. And it's just like, it's perfect. And she was such a dynamic character, and she was the first Black woman in the Avengers. She led the Avengers for a while.
She did.
And it's just like, they're gonna turn her into Carol's.
She literally, like before she got depowered, like she was the embodiment of light energy. Like, she combined with Blue Marvel and became the most powerful entity in all of comics. # bring back Ultimates, you cowards. Like, I know Chadwick's gone, but you could still do Ultimates. Like, I swear to God.
in I believe it's in Kelly Sue DeConnick's Captain Marvel, or I don't know. I don't remember if it is Kelly Sue DeConnick, but there is a Captain Marvel run where Carol and Monica kind of have a bit of a standoff, and they kind of poke at each other for all of the various names that they've had. And Carol's like, "Look, I get you used to be Captain Marvel, but I'm Captain Marvel now. You've been like Photon, you've been like Pulsar, Sonar, whatever. The very obviously not Sonar, but like
Spectrum.
the various different names that Monica has had." And Monica turns around and chucks it right back in her face, like, "Okay, binary warbird, Miss Marvel." Like, and so if you want to have that kind of a moment, that moment was fun. And then we find out that Monica has a Google alert set up for herself, and I love it.
Yes.
And it's just like, it hurts. And I hate that we have to see this trend continued. And it's just like I understand, like, I feel, I don't want it to seem like I'm stepping out of my lane or anything like that, but it bothers the hell out of me. And it's something you notice almost immediately going in, that you can only have people of color if they're playing second string to a fancy white hero.
Yeah, and you have so many like people of color who have just kind of accepted it and become complacent because we're just happy to see like us on the screen. Like that's why T'Challa and Chadwick was so momentous for us, because we saw the change occur where we weren't the second banana anymore. That's why I was emotional and my eyes out on the phone to you after I saw Endgame, where it's like, I got to see Sam pick up that shield. That's why I'm concerned about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Where it's like, yes, this trailer looks fucking badass, but
where the fuck is Sam's shield?
Where's Sam's shield? Why the fuck are we acting like this isn't supposed to be Sam being Captain America? And it bothers me. And thank you, Travis, for that backup.
Because the fangirls love Bucky because of Stucky, and I don't understand it.
As the gay black man in the room, fuck Stucky. That is my opinion. There we go.
But the fangirls love Bucky, and I feel like it's going to be Bucky and Sam is his sidekick.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. And it's like the MCU, if you look at it in isolation, because I don't want somebody to come at me with, but DC, blah, blah, blah. We're not talking about that. If you look at the MCU in isolation, it has a lot of problems it needs to fix. And having Miss Marvel as a TV show isn't going to magically fix all of these problems. And like, I don't know. Like, I know that we've got Eternals on the horizon, and honestly, who the hell cares? Like,
honestly, like, I really could give a rat's ass about Eternals.
They're doing Eternals because DC's doing New Gods, and everybody wants that Jack Kirby money. I have read one Eternals book in the entirety of my comics reading, and that's not meant to make me sound fancy. I'm just saying that just no thank you. Like, honestly, all four of the fan of the Eternals are going to be really excited about this movie.
And like, yay,
damn.
Well, no, like I'm being like, I'm with her, Travis. Like yeah, the one dude from Atlanta's in it, and I'm hyped about that. But like, and no one cares that Angelina Jolie got off her high horse and came over to Disney. Like, no one cares. Like,
I mean, it's a hell of a cast.
At the point where it's a hell of a cast. It looks amazing. Like, yay, they pulled out all the stops. But like, no one really gives up, especially because they're like trying to hop up the Eternals as like the next round of like Avengers and shit. Like, no, stop it. No one cares. Like, this movie's gonna sell worse than anything. Like you got lucky with how like hyped Guardians was, but like y'all tried Inhumans and you let it burn to the ground. Like,
Inhumans was hot dumpster juice.
Like Eternals is what Inhumans should have been. Like, if they would have put the money and the gas behind Inhumans the way they're putting behind like Eternals, we wouldn't be talking about Eternals. That's on period. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, no one would even care about Eternals if they would have put the money into Inhumans like they were supposed to. Like, Vin Diesel was supposed to be Black Bolt, all that other nonsense. Like, they could have done it.
Blackagar Bolticon. I'm sorry, Bolticon. It's his fucking name. Medusa.
Name, but like,
such a great character that they fucking completely ruined.
Like, you casted the best possible person in Serinda Swan to play Medusa, and then you chopped all the girl's hair off.
Nope, she's not gonna have hair, and when she does have hair, it's gonna look like Spawn's Kate from like the 90s.
That was such a good reference.
It looks like Spawn's cape. And honestly,
Some McFarlane shit.
and
so yeah, no, and like I know I kind of like. Go ahead, Mary. I'll let you finish up real quick.
And it's just, and like Eternals is coming out, and that's really, it's a hell of a cast. It's a diverse cast. I think the most important part of Eternals is that they're giving Gemma Chan a second chance because Captain Marvel fucked her as well. And oh yeah, Carol had a convenient painted POC bad guy that she could fight. Gemma Chan's, oh, I never liked you, and Carol's like, okay, I'm gonna punch you now. Like, so the movie was fine. I enjoyed the movie, but the movie has problems. Like, a movie can be enjoyable and have a stack of problems. Like, the two are not mutually exclusive. So me critiquing Captain Marvel doesn't mean I hated the movie. Brie Larson did very well.
Yes, Brie Larson is one of the best parts of that damn movie.
Exactly. And what else do they have? Because they have Eternals, and I'm sure all 4 people who are big fans of the Eternals are going to be real excited.
Like, Travis, if you want to hop in this, I know me and Mary are ranting.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sorry.
Don't be afraid to hop in this.
Honestly, like, I'm afraid of all the pooch screwing Marvel's already doing. You know what I'm saying?
Travis, are you familiar with the Challengers of the Unknown, the way old DC property?
No, that's really like.
Okay, because making an Eternals movie is kind of like making a movie about the Challengers of the Unknown. Like, and I'm sure someone somewhere will take offense that I said that.
See, personally, I just stop with the crazy. It's push to talk is betrayal. Damn you, push to talk. I guess why y'all do that. My whole issue is fucking. I'm afraid of Marvel screwing more pooches in a similar fashion of how they did the end of Luke Cage season 2 on the Netflix show. Like, they fucking perfectly set it up for fucking David F. Walker's Heroes for Hire, and then fucked everyone out of it completely.
Yup, preach. So yeah, no, like, and I'm excited for like Shang-Chi next year and shit like that. Like, that looks promising, but at the same time, it's just like. I really am worried that Marvel or in Disney in general doesn't know what to do with Marvel now that the Avengers has peaked. Like, yeah, you kind of diverted a couple of things, especially like, and this, I am not, like, I will be very clear about this. I am not trying.
Shang-Chi's already in a whole mess of trouble.
Shang-Chi's already in a whole mess of trouble.
And like, China's not thrilled because they're making it for the Chinese box office. But no, China has caught wind of the fact that Fu Manchu, an incredibly racist stereotype that the US has been using for decades, was his original father in comic books. And I think they're like reversing it so that the Mandarin is now his father. And it's just
fucked up Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, and it's like, how the fuck is that supposed to work? And even the Mandarin was it's called the Yellow Peril, and I'm weirded out by saying that, but like, Fu Manchu was that kind of a villain even well before he got into comic books. Like, I mean, anime.
And he's so much of a trope that he's literally the name of the fucking mother.
Yeah, it's literally the name of the trope. And it's just like, and, God's lover, may the poor thing rest in peace. Anime Wong had to deal with that shit when she was making movies literally 100 years ago.
Yep. And it's like, I'm terrified because, and this is not on the fault of Chadwick being gone, but they were banking on Chadwick being their next Chris Evans. They were banking on him leading the charge of the POCs into the the POC, the women and whatnot. Like, him and Carol were supposed to take over the game. But like, now with Black Panther 2 being turned into a tribute movie, I don't think Marvel knows what the fuck they're gonna do anymore.
And I think you can obviously tell from one very easy indicator that Disney had no idea Black Panther was going to be as profitable as it was, and that was Infinity War. Because you go from Black Panther straight into Infinity War, and like 65% of Infinity War is with the Guardians. And in my opinion, the only parts of that movie that were actually interesting was like the not space crap. But, we
Yep.
spent so little time in Wakanda, and this movie had just, taken the world by storm, and we do nothing with it. And that's how you can tell that Disney had no idea that Black Panther was going to pull the numbers it was going to pull.
That's why Letitia and old girl from the Dora Milaje pulled back up in Endgame. Like that's why they came back, because they didn't expect the movie to slap like it did.
And Marvel, they backed themselves into a corner. And is Letitia, is she okay?
Look, oh god, Travis!
She been sipping the Kool-Aid, yo.
Like,
she wild.
I only have like a periphery understanding of what's going on, and I'm seeing weird conspiracy theories that she's in mourning and she's trying to get fired, and I'm like, I'm so
like,
is she okay?
Like from I know there was because there was anti-vaxxer shit and there was possible transphobic shit, and then like Don Cheadle got involved where he was like bye, and then it was like, oh, that's my sister, never mind, because like probably my agent called me, and it's just like so fast. Yeah, no, like someone snatched him up real quick, but it's like because he was ready to be like he was ready to put the Ice Cube meme in there and everything, like bye Felicia, like he was ready, but it's just like especially because after his like protect trans kids shirt on SNL, he doesn't give a fuck, so it's like it was very obvious like someone snatched him up, but I think like and now the way that Ryan Coogler and Kevin Feige phrased it at the thing of Black Panther 2 will be a tribute to Wakanda, that Letitia probably just like fucked up all her money right there. Like she probably fucked it up right there. Like she was probably like being lined up with Chad being gone to be the next Black Panther, and then like if she's in mourning, honey, like please talk to somebody. Like don't go out like this. Like this is a lot to put on your shoulders, but like don't do this to yourself. Like talk to somebody, please. Don't do this to yourself.
Honestly, the bit that they talked about with Black Panther 2, I feel like that was just a fancy way of saying we have no idea what we're doing with this. Like,
yeah, that's fair. Like they weren't expecting the shit. No one was.
Nobody was, and I think everything.
Yeah, no one can blame them.
Oh, God, no, not at all. I don't think anyone should blame them. I think everyone's just kind of caught off guard, and they're trying to give it a release date, but now they have to kick everything into overdrive. And I'm sure there was a script that's probably halfway done, close to being done, or whatever, and they have to repurpose everything. But I think they might need to be transparent about that, because with everything that's going on with Chadwick's untimely passing, and then with everything going on with this, I think we need to have a bit of transparency about the second movie, because it could potentially be a shit show.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
But Disney can't afford. Disney never wants to look stupid. So that's my only fear, is that it's just this is going to go off the rails too fast, and I don't think anybody wants that.
And like, especially with Feige not even saying a lick of what's going on with Blade, like that also is a concern of like what else.
Get to wave Blade in front of my face and then not do anything with it. I don't care if you have to bring back the goddamn Snipes.
No. Wesley's done. Wesley's done. Like,
I don't even have to bring him back in some capacity. Get me another goddamn Blade movie, because I remember Blade 3. Yeah,
we just passed like the 10-year anniversary or or something of like Blade Trinity, and it made me feel really old.
I mean, and especially if you're gonna dangle Mahershala Ali as Blade in my face, fucking commit to it.
Exactly, like that man is an Oscar-winning, amazing person. Like that is like the perfect. Like, and there were so many like fan casts of him for so many years to make him Blade. So when they announced it, it was just like heavens of all high. Like I remember the episode of Panel to Panel we did where it was like right as I saw it, I lost my shit. So like we need this like more than ever. So basically, I think Disney put a lot forward, but I think we need to just be optimistic for the future. That's where I'm gonna say to that.
We didn't talk about Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah, we can run that real quick. Miss Marvel, beyond all of our bitching about the POC concerns, as long as it is written well from the little bit of a sizzle reel that we saw and how they're really committed to getting it right.
Absolutely.
And Feige, the thing that Feige said about when you have a character that comes along like Kamala that does what she did to the comic industry of revolutionizing like the young people's like need for that kind of hero, then you put it forward, you put it out into the media because she's needed. Like that's why we got that really poorly animated Marvel TV show with her in it, because people needed her there despite the really poor animation. That's why you got
that show her.
Yes, it was so bad. Like it was so bad. Like Squirrel Girl couldn't even save that show. Like
America Chavez couldn't say that show, because I think it was either a comic tie-in or there was one episode or something where America Chavez said something like "holy tamales" or something like
she
that.
did, and it was
collective internet cringe.
Yeah, and it's like after collectively people have said that Kamala is the best thing about the Avengers video game. So it's like when you have that kind of character that is in high demand, you do something about it. So it's like, I think if Ms. Marvel is a success, then good. Make her be a success. Put all the money you can into it and make it be hot. Like make it be the best thing possible for people. And if it collapses, then make it happen. That's how I feel. Like Kamala has never been something like for me. I think I became more of a Kamala fan after playing the Avengers video game, even though I'd already been sort of like a yay, good for you kind of fan for a while. So it's like I'm excited for it, but like I yay. That's how I feel about it. Like, good job.
I think that they have the world's easiest setup because she is a new character, so she's a very linear storyline. And, you know, for the majority of her existence, she only had one writer, and it was G. Willow Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's obviously expanded out. She's been in Champions, and there's Magnificent Ms. Marvel. But, you know, for the core book, which is probably what they're going to spend the first chunk of the show adapting, is that you have the world's easiest setup. If you can do this right, this can be incredible. And now I'm not out here saying that, oh God, they're going to fuck it up, whatever. No. I'm saying that if this can work, because I'm always leery of any new TV show on the horizon. I don't like to say anything's going to be great because I get burned too often. Mm. And I also said when they announced the New Mutants movie, I'm like, this is going to be great. New Mutants translate to film. So, yeah. Ask me about that. Because my two favorite Marvel properties are Runaways and New Mutants, and Ask Me How I'm Doing.
It was so bad.
But, I mean, they have the easiest setup in the world. I mean, it's a very new character with a very linear storyline. Like, and you have, you know, Loki pops up. Obviously, you know, she has this whole story. Like, it's fantastic. She has this whole ridiculous story arc with Wolverine, and she's just running around geeking out with Wolverine the whole time, talking about how, like, I think it's like her Wolverine Storm fanfic did really well. Yeah. And it's just like, it's great. And I'm sad that we're not going to get that because, you know, the X-Men. But I think the actress that they've cast, she seems really excited and really engaged. And I think this could be really cool, but I'm always like 20% terrified. And then She-Hulk. I'm very excited about She-Hulk.
Yes.
They finally confirmed that Tatiana Maslany is She-Hulk, and that is not that's not a boost for her career. This is a fantastic get for Marvel because that bitch can act. If you can carry a show where you play no less than 6 different characters a season, you can play the duality of Hulk. Like, she is going to act circles around anything Mark Ruffalo has done in the MCU.
Which wasn't much.
Edward Norton's a better Hulk. Cough, cough, cough.
Oh god, no! Edward Norton is the better Hulk, right. And Tatiana Maslany will still show him up. Like,
but no, you know, I totally agree with that. And I was even bitching about how like I hate Thor Ragnarok for ruining the Planet Hulk storyline. So the other day, so
they fucking destroyed my favorite Hulk story.
Then why did you back me up? When I was arguing with people in the Discord, why did you back me up, huh? I see how it is.
Did you tag me? Did you tag me? Did you tag me?
I see how it is, but no. The final thing we'll end on real quick because I know as the one of the biggest Fantastic Four fans that I know, if I don't speak on this, I'm gonna be looked upon as like a heathen. But they announced that John Watts, the director of the new Spider-Man movies, is going to be doing a Fantastic Four movie. And here's what I'm gonna say about this. I had to watch my favorite Marvel character, Benjamin J. Grimm, be brought to my face, have his catchphrase be used as an abuse parallel, and have him walk out on stage, basically, with no pants. Granted, that was by Fox, and it was the same movie that made the adopted daughter be the white girl, and like to the black family, and had Dr. Doom looking like a glow stick got eaten by tinfoil. But at the same time, we've had things like Ben Kingsley as friggin' Mandarin. We've had train wrecks like Thor: Dark World. We've had crazy ass movies like mistakes like Infinity War, like that fucked up Wakanda and had most of it in space. We've had jokes be made out of one of the most iconic Dan Abnett stories like the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I will die on that hill that Guardians of the Galaxy deserves to be more serious than what it was. Fight me.
Okay.
I if they ruin Fantastic Four again, I'm done. That's why when everyone's in my DMs going, well, what do you think about Fantastic Four and John Watson, yada yada, you're a big Fantastic Four fan, yada yada, I'm excited. I'm potentially enthused, but until I see casting, until I see trailers, I don't care. Because I have been hurt too much. I've seen the guy from Nip Tuck be Dr. Doom. I don't care anymore. Hurt too much, damn it.
Say this, Michael
John Krasinski is Reed Richards, just saying. And Michael Chiklis was amazing.
Michael Chiklis was amazing, but yeah. Michael Chiklis was amazing. Chris Evans was great, but
Jessica Alba,
I'm at the point.
Don't at me.
Jessica Alba was great, but I'm just at the point, and I'm just at the point where it's I've been hurt too much. I literally saw a thing with no pants. And
the weird part is that they ruined so much comic lore for that specific part because the thing still has a rock penis.
Yeah, and it's just. That's where I'm I
just remembered that Kerry Washington was Alicia.
Yeah, Kerry Washington was Alicia Masters.
I'm sorry,
that's correct.
I just remembered that.
Yep, she was one of the first ever freaking race changes in comic media, and she killed it, and it was great. But it's just that's where I'm gonna leave that on the table. Is I've been hurt too much, and I refuse to give this announcement credence until I see a trailer. I know I've had people in my tagging me. I've had people in my DMs. I don't care. I will wait until the motherfucking dream would be I know Movie Bob's scum right now because of what he did to Lindsay Ellis, but Movie Bob's pitch of how they put the Fantastic Four into canon, it would be the best way to do it, where they were in the 40s, like how Ant-Man and the Wasp were, and then they got booted in later. And you do it, but you basically just give us Hickman's Fantastic Four. That's what you need to do, but you're not gonna fucking do it. So that's what I'm gonna say to that.
I was really disappointed to hear that John Watts is directing it. Not that I think he's a bad director. I wasn't thrilled with his Spider-Man movies, and I know I don't know. I do not want to anger Spider Twitter, but
oh, honey, we've already done that.
Yeah, and it's
episodes about it.
I feel like they stripped too much from Miles and gave it to Peter, and I know the movies are fine, but I don't like the way they did it, and I am afraid that he's gonna bring that same switching, pulling from this, pulling from that, to the Fantastic Four, and the movie is in such a volatile state because the Fox movies were comic book movies in the early 2000s. None of them were good. Just none of them were good. So, like, you can't even really argue quality for shit like the first X-Men movie, the first Fantastic Four movie, the first, Daredevil. You can't really argue qualities for movies coming from when comic book movies were just really shitty.
Yeah. So it's like, I've been hurt too much, but at the same time, I'm optimistic. Travis, before we go, do you have any opinions on possible Fantastic Four shit?
Don't make Galactus so nebulous.
Scary Cloud Galactus.
Oh, that was so bad. Don't make him don't make him a storm, please, God.
Do not make the Thing and Sue Storm worthless, because you see that time and again. Because the Thing is just a giant boulder, and he can break a lot of shit, and he's a very emotional character. Do not fuck this up. And Sue Storm can literally rip you apart from the inside.
I just want to say the dream for me is I want Sue Storm to hentai fuck Doom like she did in the comics.
Oh God.
No, if you want Sue Storm drama, bring in Namor and just kind of have them have their thing. But like, just don't make the token girl the hot mom. Like,
but like both of their best moments, like Sue and Ben, are both in Civil War, and that's crazy to think about. Mm-hmm. Where it's like Sue has that really baller moment where she just kind of gives Reed the finger and saves the Resistance, and then Ben has that really epic moment where one of the Yancey Street kids is attacked by Iron Man in Captain America fighting. So he just says, "Fuck both of you. I'm going to Paris. Like, I'm done. I'm neutral. I'm not doing this shit anymore." And it's just like those moments right there are what I need. I need these two to be powerful. I need them to be like there. If you want another strong woman to be in your MCU like mess you've made, you need to put some agency and some power behind Sue and not just limit her to being a mom.
And it's just like John Watts. I don't want it to be another MJ situation where Zendaya is great. We love Zendaya. But MJ was snarky, and really that's kind of the extent of her character, is that she's snarky and no nonsense. And it's like, it hurt. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just, I get really shitty about the Fantastic Four very easily, because it was my dad's favorite property. And I read way too much of it as a child.
See, for me, it's one of those things where it's like my family sucked when I was younger, so like it still do. So it's like when I read Fantastic Four books, I feel like I'm a part of the family. So when I see them hurting so much in their media like properties, like the sad part is the only good like representation of Fantastic Four in media is the one like Toonami show they had years ago that like nobody ever talks about anymore. That had one of the best fucking theme songs ever, and it's depressing that nobody talks about it, and it's not on Disney Plus. So it's like I need more care for the Fantastic Four if you're moving into this shit.
The only other thing I have to say is that I'm disappointed, not because I dislike John Watts. I was hoping to see somebody new in the director's chair, because I'm very afraid that with these big properties like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Captain Marvel, whatever, you know what I mean, the top tier properties, I'm very afraid that they're just going to start passing movies back and forth among the same people, with the obvious exceptions of a lady or POC character. Because the Russos and Whedon did all of the major stuff in the first 80 phases. So, I'm very worried that they're just going to start passing all the movies back and forth among the same 4 white guys. Yeah. So I was hoping to see somebody new in the director's chair, but I think all superhero movies we need to see a big influx of talent coming in. Agreed. And I can understand having, the same guy do the same 2 Spider-Man movies, or the same gal doing both Wonder Woman movies. That's not what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm disappointed. I don't want Spider Twitter to come at me with torches and pitchforks.
No, come. I'm ready. But also, to add to what you're saying, though, it's like they kind of followed what Marvel did with Slott, where it's like, hey, you can do Spider-Man. Why don't you do Fantastic Four? And it's like, that didn't go well, so don't do that.
Comics is already in that trap. They keep passing around books to the same 5 people. And it's like the only person they should be passing all those books to is Tom Taylor. But
And Dan Slott, if you want to block me like you've done everybody else, I don't really care. I'm sorry.
I'm not. I haven't been blocked yet, and I'm kind of sad.
I haven't been blocked, but it's like I haven't really provoked him. But I will say on air that like your Fantastic Four book turned to trash once you married off Ben, and I stick by that statement. He like Spider-Man died for me after he was body swapped by Ock, and after that I was like, I'm bored. Stop it.
I used to be such a big fan of Spider-Man. He was like one of my top 3 favorite superheroes, and I know that sounds very odd for me to say, but no, I loved Spider-Man more than like just a lot of other stuff, and it's just nope. And I've never been able to pick up the Spider book since.
Yeah. Same.
Anyway, I have rambled far too much this evening.
No, I've missed your ramblings, and this is something we're going to be excited for like starting in next year, because like we're literally going to like end the year off with a bang, because in the next 2 weeks we will be reviewing Wonder Woman 1984 like when we are able to, and then we will be kicking off like our end of the year bash with our issue number 50. Our number 50 will be a drunken commentary of Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin, and that is going to be very enjoyable. Me and Mary and Travis will finally be indulging us by finally like partaking in the drinking of the alcohols as we review this amazing movie.
I'm a fucking lightweight, so it's gonna be like 2 drinks.
Yes.
Plot twist, that episode will be a one-woman show.
So it's like we're gonna end the year off with a bang, and in 2021 we'll be seeing a lot more panel to panel. We want to make sure that this does remain to be the flagship of this website, and as we move into the next year, so get ready for more stuff.
If the world hasn't ended by then,
right? So it's like we chose, because of different things going on with the election and like people being sick and whatnot, we chose to move the Simone saga to 2021. You will be seeing it. We will be covering it. We care about the work that Gail Simone has done over the years, so you will be seeing that in time, and we will be doing more creator spotlights as time goes on, because we want to spotlight the amazing work people have done over the years. So get ready for that kind of stuff to be seen on Panel to Panel. Travis, what is your closing statement for this episode?
Please, Marvel, stop fucking the dog. Stop dropping the ball, screwing the pooch, whatever you want to call it. But I need them to stop fucking the dog on this one, big time. Fair.
Mary, what is your closing statement for, I believe, episode 48 of Panel to Panel?
Golly, I'm not sure. Watch Wonder Woman 84 on HBO Max on Christmas. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm about to. If the world does not end and we all magically can see the movie, I'm gonna have a lot to say. Regardless, love it, hate it, I'm gonna have a lot to say.
You get to see her ride the lightning,
which is a pre-existing thing she's done in the comics. Will people shut up with the goddamn Spider-Man crap? Okay, I'm sorry.
That's a better closing statement. My closing statement. I'm excited for new Star Wars shit. Put some pants on Ben Grimm, and we will catch you folks next time right here at Panel to Panel. Peace out.